Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, chers étudiants. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony. We are at the end of a very rich and exciting academic year. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you for having successfully completed the program. I would like to congratulate the ones who were in Geneva during the past academic year, as well as the students who took the MIDS online. And I know that a certain number of these students are in this room, and I'm going to be very pleased to meet them in person. What I enjoyed with your batch is that you created a very nice community. Even if you were online, you were relating one to each other, and you have developed very nice interactions. So during this academic year, you have expanded your knowledge, you have acquired and assimilated new competencies, and you should be proud of these achievements, even in public international, though if it's not always the main consideration of the students, but you have learned quite a lot. So today, it's an important turning point in your life. You will now move forward, and we trust, with my colleagues, that what you've learned during the year is going to be a valuable asset for your career path. You will be able to put in practice all what you've learned about the wide array of dispute settlement mechanisms that are currently in place, and you will help promote the rule of law, which is very important in our today's life. What do you remember of the past academic year? You had the opportunity to meet with a lot of academics, some are in this room today. You also met with a lot of practitioners, and you also had developed your personal growth. So maybe some of you came thinking that they would do a certain thing after the MIDS, but you might have changed your way of thinking about what you're going to do in the future. And I think that's the richness of the MIDS, is that we open your knowledge, we develop your knowledge, and we offer you new tools for understanding the world and what you would like to do after the MIDS. What I'd like to say, and we will repeat that tomorrow, is that now you're part of the MIDS community, or what I call the MIDS family. And we very much hope that you will remain in contact with us. So we will hear from one of our friends who is the representative of the MIDS Alumni Association. And through the MIDS Alumni Association, you can establish contact, but we would also like the MIDS team, to remain in contact with you. It's very important to know what you're doing and what we will be doing in the future. Now, you've not done all this without the support of your families and friends. And I think that we should acknowledge the role that families and friends play when you're studying hard, and they help you also to accomplish your dream with bringing you the support. So I know that a lot of the members of the friends and families are here today in this room, and I would like to thank them for what they've done for you. And I know that a lot of them are watching us through online, and I would like to thank them for supporting you, the MIDS students. So you've heard a lot about the MIDS program, and you know that it has been jointly established between two institutions, the University of Geneva and the Graduate Institute of International Studies. And we've established this practice, I don't know if it's a custom, we will see, that they take turn to make welcoming remarks at the graduation ceremony. So this year, you will hear from a representative of the Graduate Institute who is known to all of you. It's Professor Joost Bouwin, who is a professor who teaches a lot of areas that you enjoy very much, and who is also the head of the legal department of the Graduate Institute. So Joost Bouwin, the floor is yours.
Merci, Laurence. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, MIDS administrators and staff, proud parents, families online with us, and most importantly, our brilliant graduates of the MIDS class of 2023. I take it you sit a little bit all over the room, and you'll be moving soon, but really wonderful to see so many bright young people in our aula here. Today we gather here to celebrate the culmination of a year of really hard work and dedication. It is also the commencement of a new chapter in your lives, one where you take the values, critical insights, network, and knowledge you've gained and apply them to the world of international dispute settlement. Tomorrow, the MIDS will be celebrating its 15th anniversary. It's also my 15th year as a law professor at the Graduate Institute. The world has changed dramatically in these 15 years. 15 years ago, the value, importance, and benefits of peaceful settlement of international disputes seemed like a given. Today, we have war in Europe, a strong re-emergence of nationalism, and deep geopolitical tensions. Also, from the bottom up, the legitimacy and democratic nature of, for example, investor-state dispute settlement, or the World Trade Organization's appellate body, are in very serious doubt. We are really not in a period of business as usual. And I must admit it can be depressing and stressful for me and for you. I guess for you mainly thinking, will there be jobs in this field of practice? But it is also a very exciting period, one where everything is up for grabs, where reform seems feasible, and where newly minted experts like yourselves can leave a mark as to how international dispute settlement will look like in the next 15 years. As you step into the world of international dispute settlement, I implore you to remember the power you hold in your hands. You are not just practitioners, you are champions of justice on a global stage, where the weakest of nations and individuals often find themselves at a disadvantage. It's your duty to ensure that the scales of justice are balanced and that the rights of the weakest are protected, and as Laurence was saying, that the rule of law prevails. You have the power also to wield law and international dispute settlement as a force for positive change. Throughout history, the law has been a catalyst for social progress, a weapon against injustice, and a shield for the oppressed. You have the opportunity to shape the course of history, to champion causes that are close to your heart, and to be the change you wish to see. The law is not just a set of rules, it's a tool for transformation. Use it wisely, use it justly, and use it to protect the weakest amongst us. Let it be a force for good, a force for equality, and a force for a better world. In conclusion, allow me to add a more personal note. I've attended many graduation ceremonies, but only recently did I attend one as a parent. So parents in the room or online, especially fathers, I know how you feel. Warm congratulations also to you. Educating our young generation takes a village. MIDS class of 2023, we are immensely proud of you. Congratulations, and may your journey be filled with wisdom, compassion, and fulfillment in life. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think that the moment you've been waiting for has come. I am very proud to stand here today and call your names so that you may come to the stage in celebration of all your hard work, of all your efforts, of everything that you have put towards this MIDS academic year 2022-2023. Some of you will receive their final transcript today, while others will go on to pursue an internship as part of their studies. In both cases, we are here today to celebrate your efforts, to celebrate your hard work and your achievements at the MIDS. When I call your name, please go to Kali, who will hand you the envelope with your transcript. You will then proceed to the stage, and then please stand right beside Professor Douglas, so that we may take the official picture. Professor Douglas, if I can invite you to the stage. I will start by calling the first 5 highest ranking students for the MIDS 2022-2023 academic year. I will be calling them in reverse order. So I will start with the 5th highest ranked student and finish by calling out the highest ranked student of this class. Then I will continue by calling out your names in alphabetical order. I will call all the students in the batch, those who are present today in the room, and also those who could not be here today, but that are watching us through the live stream. So I invite you to congratulate them all when we call out their name. And so with this, we start. As we recognize the students with the 5 highest rankings today, we have a unique situation. We have 2 students sharing the 4th rank. We will therefore not be announcing a 5th highest ranking student today. I will announce these 2 students and then ask them to join the stage in alphabetical order. The 4th 2 highest ranking students are from India, Aparna Nagabhushana, and from the Philippines, Catherine Michael Veneracion Texel. The 3rd highest ranking student is from India, Krishna Menon. The 2nd highest ranking student is in absentia and from India, Lakshana R. And the highest ranking student of the MIDS 2022-2023 program is from India, Aditya Suresh. And now I will continue to call out your names in alphabetical order. From Poland, August Adamowicz. From Indonesia, Sasha Diandra Nilditya. From Costa Rica, Ariana Arce. From Nigeria, in absentia, Christopher Awodimila. From Mongolia, in absentia, Naranjaya Bagdulam. From Italy, also in absentia, Niccolò Filippo Bertone. From France, Quentin Chadalian. From South Korea, in absentia, Won-Yup Choi. From India, in absentia, Pragya Choudhary. From Peru, Mario Fernando Drago Alfaro. From Italy, Luigi Gasparelli. From the United Kingdom, Adam Musa Askergele. From Australia and Italy, Elizabeth Jane Hackney. From the United Kingdom, Canada, and Hong Kong, Sean Him Henry Ho. From Egypt, Adnan Jafar. From Argentina and Italy, Laura Jaroslavsky Consoli. From Portugal, Luis Miguel Malgaes Paiva de Sousa Soares. From Italy, Gabriele Misia. From Iran, Moin Naderi. In absentia, from Belgium and the Dominican Republic, Escipión Andrés Oliveira Hecke. From Ecuador, Ana Karina Parra Cáceres. From Brazil, João Marcos Piovesan. From India, Sneha Podar. From India, Shaurya Ray. From India, Anuksha Ratra. From Iran, Vahid Residues. From Paraguay, Gabriela María del Mar Rodríguez González. In absentia, from India, Sanskriti Sharma. absentia from India, Alefia Shiplander. From Lithuania, Tadas Varapignas. From Russia, Evgeny Voronin. From China, Ximing Wang. And last but not least, in absentia, from Poland, Malgorzata Maria Zukrowska. Congratulations to you all. It has truly been a pleasure to have you at the MIDS this past academic year. I speak on behalf of all the MIDS team when I say we are very proud of everything you've accomplished. I really look forward to seeing you continue to grow while chasing your dreams, and I truly wish you all the best in the future. I would now like to call back to the stage Aparna Nagabhushana to deliver the address on behalf of the MIDS 2022-2023 academic year.
Congratulations, guys. We did it. So last week, when Mariona ever so kindly asked me if I could give a short speech at the day of the graduation ceremony, I ecstatically agreed. Then the first thing I did was to reach out to our WhatsApp group and ask for inputs. And the second thing, like most millennials, was to Google how to give a short, fun, and inspiring speech. Well, Google tells me that the attention span of a person on average is 8 to 12 seconds. But I'm sorry, I'm going to be speaking a little longer than that. Hopefully, I can effectively communicate what I'm feeling on this occasion and not just leave you all thinking about the aperitif later. So, good afternoon, respected professors and faculty. Hello again to my batchmate. Lovely to see you all here. And a warm welcome to the incoming 2023-24 MIDS cohort. They say time passes quickly when you're enjoying yourself, and I must confess that the last 1 year has flown by pretty fast. I remember like it was yesterday, sitting here, very new to Geneva, just a few days into the MIDS program, wondering how this 1 year would impact my life. This was, of course, before the MIDS curriculum hit us all hard, which gave us no time to ponder about such philosophical questions. With the tough yet interesting taskmaster that is the GC, the intensive courses that truly live up to their name, and writing the thesis. We survived and indeed thrived as I see my friends embark upon their illustrious careers. Along the way, we had a lot of fun as we carry joyful memories to reminisce about, including spending glorious days by the Lake of Geneva, sometimes peeking out of the windows at Villa Moynier, punctured by the rambunctious laughter of Beth here and Henry, hostel events, such as the night on the Diwali celebrations where we laughed and danced the entire night, impromptu potlucks, and many karaoke nights. And of course, traveling across Switzerland. I think we did 2 trips to Interlaken as a batch. Many of us enjoyed skiing during the winter semester, and I heard from Laura that during one of these ski trips where we had August as a ski instructor, had a very interesting incident where the ski instructors there decided not to have him in the arena because they thought he was a competing instructor himself. That's funny. And of course, we made the most of our student permit by traveling across Europe. We visited beautiful cities like Paris, Milan, The Hague, of course, on the pretext of visiting conferences and institution visits. But yeah, we had more fun than just doing that. One incident that I do remember when we were traveling in Paris was Callie telling us all to be careful with our phones, but she herself lost her iPhone on the metro. Sorry, Callie. I will also remember the fun dinner that was hosted by Professor Tercier, and I remember I was sitting with Adam and Escipion, who entertained us all with their jokes the whole night because we had to judge who's funnier. Well, the judgment's still out on that. And I understand that the World Cup was going on at that time, and I think most of us were following the World Cup throughout the Paris trip, and I think Laura was just stuck to her phone, wondering what was happening. I don't know if she remembers what she ate for dinner that day. And also, I understand that while Catherine and I were sort of traveling through Paris in the evening that day and trying to get the Eiffel Tower at midnight, some of our nerdier friends, I think Gabby, Luigi, all of you were attending other arbitration events. So, well, great. And I also remember our trip to Milan, which we had gone for one of the conferences, and Anuksha and I spent the evening in the upscale market there in Milan, feeling very sophisticated by the atmosphere itself and politely going into every gallery, inquiring about the paintings, though we very well knew we couldn't afford a single one. But here's to hoping we will in the future. And not to forget to mention this amusing email spam thread that our batch enjoyed. We were apparently approached by Kaufman Kohler herself for money, and we instead spammed them back to the extent that the spammer said, "Do not talk to me again ever." So that's really funny. I will keep it to cherish for life to come. Another really fond memory I had was the potluck lunch at Professor Bozon de Chazon's place. And that's when I realized that we're all gourmet cooks and we can whip up the tastiest dishes. And it was amazing to taste different food from all across the world. We do know that's an alternative career if we ever want to do that. But on a serious note, I've seen all you guys and your razor-sharp intellect during our cross-examination workshop, mediation workshop, and the Midnight Burning Oil MIDS retreat. And here's to hoping I never have to face any of you as opposing lawyers in the future. So I'm grateful for the MIDS for bringing all of us together from across the world. While it's undoubtedly an excellent master's program with wonderful learning opportunities, it importantly enabled me meeting such beautiful, interesting, and intelligent people who are now my dear friends. This also includes the online MIDS cohort, especially Adnan and Wahid, whom we met during the Paris trip in some classes and workshops. So I therefore thank you all for making my life special and enriching in Geneva. Thank you again. I would also like to take this moment to thank my husband, who's in attendance here, and my parents and in-laws for watching this online. Thank you for your love and support. This would not have been possible without you folks. In India, where I come from, educators are accorded the utmost respect for their important role in the society. This is best exemplified by a Sanskrit shloka, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So I would like to take this wonderful opportunity to thank all my teachers on behalf of our entire batch, especially Professor Bozon de Chazons, Professor Schultz, Professor Douglas, and Professor Hebier, as well as all the instructors of our intensive and optional courses. We all have had much to imbibe from you all. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank Dr. Lorenzo Palestini and Dr. Alfredo Crosato for creating a conducive environment for our discussions during the tutorials and listening to our ever-long presentations and resolving our innumerous questions. We have been watching your amazing submissions before the ICJ. Thank you very much. A special shout out to Mariona for her patience, guidance, and support throughout the program. My thanks to Callie for her efforts in making our lives a little more comfortable given the numerous administrative asks of the university and, Switzerland visa regulations. I thank Christine as well for her administrative support, and I hope she's enjoying her well-deserved break. I understand that Rukmini and Estelle are new to the MIDS family, and a warm welcome to you both. So it is thanks to all of their hard work and efforts that we're here today addressing the 15th batch of the MIDS program. To the new students specifically, I say carpe diem. Each one of you is special, and I'm positive that being part of the MIDS community will help you reveal greater and hidden depths within yourselves. You will emerge not only as better legal practitioners, but also as individuals from the exposure this program provides you through its notable teaching faculty, course activities, and career prospects within the global legal community. I also understand how many of you may be feeling at the moment, living away from your hometowns in a foreign location with its novel lifestyle can be quite daunting. In fact, living in Geneva was my first full-blown experience living abroad on a long-term basis. And I often had rose-tinted goggles on when I was thinking about the familiarity of my home, food, language, people and systems I left behind. Not to mention the OTT shows that I can no longer stream here without an expensive VPN, and also nightmares about perhaps losing my passport or my residence permit. But however, embarking upon this new professional and personal journey, and knowing that I'm part of something that has helped me grow and move my life towards a positive direction, has reassured me that it was the right step. I therefore urge you all to tap into the MIDS team's wisdom, including your batchmates' wisdom. They become your family away from family. And of course, have fun while at it. Make sure you travel across Switzerland and Europe and enjoy the beautiful locales here. I, on behalf of the outgoing MIDS batch, therefore extend our full-fledged support to you all. We have all been there, so please do not hesitate to reach out to us for any advice in navigating the MIDS or generally those midnight ramblings about life. Well, I do hope I have the consensus of my batchmates when I say midnight. And as you may have realized, Geneva sleeps early, so maybe a little before midnight. And I also urge you to join the Alumni Association, which introduced us to a mentor and a friend whom we could count upon. So before I cease to stand between you and the aperitif, I would like to quote Kofi Annan, former UN Secretary General and an alumnus of the Graduate Institute. To live is to choose, but to choose well, you must know who you are and what you stand for, where you want to go, and why you want to get there. While we may not know the answers to all these parameters today itself, and sometimes it's easier to connect the dots in hindsight, first and foremost, it is important to allow new experiences into our life and move out of our comfort zone so that we can define and explore the path we choose to take. These years, I'm sure, are going to be some of the connecting dots in our life's journey, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you, and have an enjoyable afternoon.
I would now like to invite to the podium the representatives of the MIDS Alumni Association.
Hi everyone, I am going to take Aparna's lead and not keep myself between you and the drinks. We were supposed to have a presentation which would allow you to easily access and register, but I'll run through everything, and because of some technical issues, you'll see the registration link tomorrow. A little about the MIDS Alumni Association. I think all of you have been introduced to it at one point or the other. In a nutshell, as you know, we're celebrating 15 years, and that gives us a huge number of students and alumni to tap into. So after about more than 12 years of the program, we decided that it was about time we got organized. And the MIDS Alumni Association was formed in 2022. It's a non-profit organization which is incorporated in Switzerland and has 4 bodies: the General Assembly, which is composed of all its members, the Executive Committee, which is 5 of us that handle the day-to-day running of the association itself. I am part of the outgoing committee, and my term ends as of tomorrow. Next to me are Sebastian and Harshad, who will be part of the incoming committee. They'll be introduced to you more formally tomorrow at the event, at which I understand all of you will be attending. In addition, we have something called operational teams, which is basically groups of people we organize to help each of the executive committee members to handle tasks on and on. Right now, we have a social media team in place. Lakshana and Christopher, and I believe from your class are part of the operational team. We have an operational team also for regional desks. And as we go along and as need arises, we send a call out for those operational teams. Luckily, the good thing was that we had an ability to access some of your emails and reach out to you and form a membership. And over the course of the last 2 years, when my committee was in place, we spent a large amount of that time getting together everyone's contact information and forming the members of the Alumni Association, forming its entire cohort. I can't stress enough how important it is for us to function, for you to be part of the committee, and I would urge you tomorrow when the QR code for registration is up, that all of you become a part, because in order to avail of the services, activities, and everything that the Alumni Association does, we insist on you being a member. As of now, we are 300 plus alumni strong. If all 40 or so of you join, that will only expand our numbers. Our activities are primarily divided into 3 categories. There's the mentorship program. I'm very glad to hear that the mentorship program, the student mentorship program, which is targeted at the current batch, helped the outgoing batch and was a success. It's a personal accomplishment because I spend time trying to match each of you to someone who worked. We'll be doing that for the next batch as well, and I hope they take away the same reaction. We have now also put in place an alumni mentorship program, which will try to help you with a much more senior alumnus in the time that you now step out into the professional world again, for those of you who are doing it again or those of you who are doing it for the first time. It is going to be probably put into place by the next committee, but the wheels have already started turning. So watch this space, watch the space for more information to come. Then we have the Global Events Desk, which is responsible for organizing events, not just tomorrow's annual event, which is the flagship event of the association, but also any events that happen at the regional levels, which easily segues me into the third aspect of the Alumni Association, which is the regional desks and national chapters, which are formed on the basis of your location, because the emphasis we like to put is you need to be personally in place and be capable of meeting in person to form that desk and keep in touch with your alumni there. If most of you are going to be in Europe, you can choose to be part of your origin country, of course, but ideally for activities that we organize within whichever country you are in Europe, whichever location, we'd urge you to also be part of the regional desks, get in touch with the representatives at your regional level. As to sort of summarize, I think the 2 key activities that we handled, or 3 key activities that my outgoing committee handled in the last 2 years was, 1, getting everyone together, and that was quite an uphill task, I might add. We organized the annual event, which was the first time we were doing it, and got some excellent feedback on the fact that we were one of the first to have an all-female panel, address topics which I notice now when I get invites and adverts from other associations, which they are now deciding to discuss as topics for their conferences. So you can always go out there and tell them the MIDS did it first. The other thing is that we got together the regional desk, at least started by constituting them, and now hope that they will go further. And in fact, that is what I understand that the next year's committee plans to do. The 2 key points that the next year's committee intends to emphasize on is to grow the membership further and more so focus on the regional desks and their activities, so that the regional desks and chapters start taking an active part in the activities of the MIDS. And the MIDS Alumni Association is not anchored in Switzerland or anchored in Europe, which it has been until the last 2 years anyway. I urge all of you to register so that you can participate, so that you can be present, you can ensure that you contribute. And I wish the next year's committee good luck in their endeavors. Everyone, please come to the event tomorrow, as well as see what is there and speak to all the alumni that are coming in. We have got about 200 members, 200 participants, most of whom are alumni. So it's a great opportunity for you to interact with them and get to know who your predecessors are. And that's it. I think if you have any questions, I'll be outside to answer them. And I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. Thank you.
I am very happy to now call to the stage Dr. Claudia Salgado, MIDS alumna and legal counsel at Hernán Salgado Pesantes in Ecuador. Claudia, the floor is yours.
Dear members of the MIDS committee and faculty, Professor Boisson de Chazourne, Professor Jus Paulin, Professor Zachary Douglas, dear friends, students, and honored guests. Good afternoon and congratulations to the class of 2023. I feel really honored to be here today, sharing this experience with you. I am with my former professors, my current colleagues, and the future generation of arbitration practitioners and international lawyers. I was a student at the second generation of the MIDS, long time ago, 2009 class. And when I look back, I still cannot think of a better place to have learned international law and arbitration. I also cannot think of a better place to have met all the international arbitration community. So I cannot think of a better place for you for the commencement of your professional career. So congratulations to the MIDS graduating class of 2023. Your graduation today is the beginning of an exciting journey. I feel overly unqualified to give you advices. But what I want to do is to share my experience with you from a former MIDS to a new MIDS, like a family. For those who will start the MIDS, first, seize every opportunity. Take advantage of all the conferences, all the trips that they have already mentioned, all the intellectual debates. Attend as many meetings as possible in this international milieu. And of course, also enjoy the cultural activities of Geneva, les Fêtes de Genève, la Fête de la Musique, la Fête de l'Escalade. Learn French. This is your opportunity to learn new things on the academia, but also in life. And all this experience will contribute to your professional life. Remember that the practice of arbitration is influenced by the cultural diversity of people and legal traditions. So the more you know about it, and the better you will be. Second, as our colleague Aparna Nagabhushana has said, I hope I have pronounced well, don't try to connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots once you look backwards. And this has been proved by Steve Jobs. So now it's time to enjoy the MIDS. In my case, at the time I was accepted to the MIDS, I was very hesitant. I had a good job. I didn't know if I had to quit my job. I didn't know if coming to Geneva was a good decision. I had more questions than answers. What if I don't get a new good job? What will I do after the MIDS? What if, what if? But now, after 14 years, I can tell you with complete certainty that all the dots got connected in a beautiful way. After concluding the MIDS, I worked in UNCTAD. Then I decided to pursue my PhD. And finally, I took a difficult decision, guided by my professors, to go back to Ecuador. After 7 years of living in this magical place, I went back to Ecuador. I still couldn't see the dots connected. However, stars got aligned, and immediately I became the head of the arbitration department for the Republic of Ecuador. For more than 4 years, I have been supervising and coordinating more than 15 arbitration cases, investment and commercial cases, representing the Republic of Ecuador. I also had the opportunity to work hand by hand with the most prestigious law firms. And I also acted as counsel against some of my former professors. So that was a real great experience for me. And of course, on the hearings, I was surrounded by these superstar arbitrators who once were my professors also. So my point is, don't ask many questions yourself now. You are already privileged for being a MIDS student. And you are also privileged for living in this magical place. And why the MIDS, it's a magical place? Because the Villa Barton is a historical heritage of Geneva, surrounded by a magnificent lake. And I guess many of us have spent much time there, and not only due to the barbecues of Professor Cohen. I don't know if this year you had the privilege, but I'm sure you will have the privilege next year. La Maison de la Paix, it's a petals of flower, surrounded by books, classrooms, and professors. All the intellectual debates occur here. The Graduate Institute and the University of Geneva, they provide a rich cultural diversity and activities. And of course, Geneva, a quiet city, a very quiet city, but it's a magnificent city. As Borges said, and I will read in Spanish, de todas las ciudades del mundo, de todas las patrias íntimas que un hombre busca merecer en el transcurso de sus viajes, Ginebra me parece la más propicia a la felicidad. If you still haven't found that quote, I invite you to walk the old town until you find this quote. It's in a building. So these are some of the reasons why the MIDS, it's a magical place. A third point, be courageous. As the ancient Greeks state, happiness depends on being free, and freedom depends on being courageous. Courage is something that you will not necessarily learn in classes, but courage is necessary. It's necessary to accomplish all your professional goals and to keep moving forward. Courage is required to live abroad, to commit to new experiences, and to acquire new responsibilities. Finally, and maybe the most important also, find a purpose. Maybe that's going to be the only way you will be able to stand up long hours writing memorials and having a 3-week hearing without sleeping. So to conclude, I think you have invested in your future by doing the MIDS and by registering the MIDS. So don't let anyone expropriate your dream. Courage et bonne continuation, and see you in this arbitration world. Thank you.
I would now like to invite back to the stage the MIDS Director, Professor Boisson Chazon.
Though they're going to be small clothing words, we've heard a lot about the MIDS and the advantages of the MIDS, and I think that we're all very proud of the achievement of this program. As you know, we're going to celebrate its birthday tomorrow, so we'll have ample time to celebrate the MIDS. This morning I was teaching the first class of the general course, and we spoke about the Alabama arbitration. So I would encourage those who have not yet visited the Alabama room in the Hotel de Ville in the Old City to go and visit it. And I think it, as Claudia was saying, it gives some sense to what is Geneva and how we could strengthen that in Geneva. So as you've heard, the MIDS is a well-established and mature program. People are very happy about it, and it's attracting a lot of attention. And I'd like to say that the students of the MIDS are part of the success of the program, and I wish that you can be our ambassadors for the respect of the rule of law, justice, and promote peace. So you are now our ambassadors, and I hope that you can dispatch the good news everywhere in the world. We would like, my colleagues and I, to remain in contact with you. So in case you have a professional achievement, or even if you have some professional problems, you can contact us, and maybe we can help you and help you think about what you would like to do and what you should be doing. On a personal note, I must say that it's always a pleasure to meet the MIDS alumni in one part of the world or another, and we will continue to do so because you're located in everywhere in the world, so it's a great value added of this program. So this academic year was very successful, thanks to all the professors, they are there, but also thanks to the team of the MIDS program, because without them, it would not have been such a success. And I would like to thank them warmly. I would like to thank Mariona Cusi. I would like to thank Kali Cunningham. I would like to thank Pilika Boon Sodani and Estelle Abro. They've been very helpful. I would also like to thank in absentia Christine Tetz, because she's also been very helpful to the program. So with these words, I think it's time now to celebrate, and we invite you to the first floor, the ground floor of the building. So see you there. Thank you.